The galaxy's fate pivoted on a single moment: the discovery of a young slave named Anakin Skywalker on the desert world of Tatooine. What if that fateful encounter never occurred? The Jedi, guided by the will of the Force, ventured to many places, but sometimes destiny chooses its own paths, even when mortals fail to see its design. In this alternate timeline, Qui-Gon Jinn and his apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi, never made their unexpected detour to Tatooine. Their journey, crucial in securing Queen Amidala's escape from Naboo, bypasses the desert planet entirely. The implications ripple across the galaxy, reshaping its history in profound and unforeseen ways. Without Anakin, the Naboo crisis unfolds much as it did originally. Queen Amidala reaches Coruscant, pleading her case before the Senate. The political maneuvering of Chancellor Palpatine accelerates his rise to power, exploiting the Senate's inefficiencies and the Trade Federation's aggression. However, something crucial is missing: the Chosen One, the individual prophesied to bring balance to the Force. The Jedi, already wary of the growing darkness, proceed without the knowledge of Anakin's existence. Qui-Gon Jinn never presents the boy to the Jedi Council, and the seeds of doubt about the prophecy remain dormant. Meanwhile, on Tatooine, Anakin continues his life as a slave under Watto's harsh rule. His mechanical talents and innate Force abilities go unnoticed by the galaxy at large. He grows, matures, and survives the harsh environment, but the spark of his potential is never ignited. Without the Jedi to nurture his connection to the Force, Anakin's gifts remain raw and untapped. His dreams of freeing the slaves and exploring the stars wither under the oppressive sun of Tatooine. The Galactic Republic, unaware of the lost potential of the Chosen One, faces its own challenges. The Sith's shadow grows longer as Darth Sidious advances his intricate schemes. The Clone Wars eventually ignite, a conflict engineered to erode the Republic's stability and pave the way for the Sith's ultimate dominance. Without Anakin, however, certain key events unfold differently. Obi-Wan Kenobi does not take Anakin as his apprentice. Instead, he remains steadfast in his own journey, perhaps taking on a different Padawan or focusing solely on his duties as a Jedi Knight. The lack of Anakin Skywalker means that Padme Amidala, while remaining a pivotal political figure, never experiences the intense and fateful relationship that would have profoundly shaped her destiny. The bond that led to the birth of Luke and Leia, the twins destined to restore hope to the galaxy, never forms. This absence drastically alters the galaxy's future, as the Skywalker lineage ceases to exist in this timeline. Darth Sidious continues to manipulate events from the shadows, but his plans take a more conventional path without Anakin as his intended apprentice. Count Dooku remains his primary tool, leading the Confederacy of Independent Systems against the Republic. The Clone Wars proceed with their relentless march of battles and betrayals, yet the dynamics within the Jedi Order shift. The Jedi, already spread thin and struggling to maintain their principles, face mounting challenges without the presence of the Chosen One. The war's climax still looms on the horizon. Order 66, the execution of the Jedi, is prepared meticulously by Sidious. However, the timing and execution lack the explosive catalyst of Anakin Skywalker's turn to the dark side. Without Anakin's betrayal, the fall of the Jedi Order is a slower, more grinding process. The clones, loyal to their programming, still carry out their orders, but the absence of Anakin as Darth Vader means key Jedi survive, including Mace Windu, Yoda, and perhaps even Obi-Wan Kenobi. The resulting empire, forged by Palpatine, lacks its most formidable enforcer. Without Darth Vader, the Empire's grip on the galaxy is weaker, though still oppressive. Resistance movements, led by surviving Jedi and rebellious factions, persist. The galaxy teeters under the weight of tyranny, but the light of hope flickers stubbornly. As for Anakin, his destiny diverges from the grand galactic narrative. Without the Jedi, without Padme, without Sidious, he remains a figure of obscurity. Yet the Force does not forget. Anakin's latent power, though dormant, remains an untapped wellspring of potential. Whether his path leads to eventual discovery or he becomes a legend of Tatooine, his presence lingers as a silent question in the galaxy's tale. The balance of the Force, shifted and strained, seeks resolution elsewhere, shaping events in unforeseen ways. The galaxy continues its descent into turmoil as Palpatine consolidates power, turning the Republic into the Galactic Empire. Without Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi Order remains weakened but not entirely obliterated. Surviving Jedi scatter across the stars, some going into hiding while others attempt to rally resistance against the new regime. Yoda retreats to Dagobah as before, while Obi-Wan Kenobi finds refuge on an outer rim world, though this time not as a guardian for the Skywalker children because they do not exist. In the absence of Vader, Palpatine's empire faces new logistical challenges. Without his unparalleled skill in hunting Jedi and crushing dissent, the Empire's forces must rely more heavily on the bureaucratic might of Moff Tarkin and the fear instilled by the Death Star. While the Empire remains a formidable force, its heart lacks the dark and destructive fury that Darth Vader once embodied. This vacuum opens new opportunities for the rebellion, which begins to form earlier and with more coordination. The Force, however, does not remain silent. Across the galaxy, sensitive individuals continue to emerge, though none are as powerful or destined as Anakin Skywalker. Among them is a young Twilight girl on Ryloth, who experiences visions of both light and darkness. Another is a Mirielon smuggler with an uncanny ability to anticipate danger. While these individuals possess fragments of the Force's will, they lack the unity or power to fully challenge the Sith's dominance. Meanwhile, on Tatooine, Anakin's life takes unexpected turns. Without the Jedi to free him, his slavery under Watto drags on into his teenage years. His mechanical genius earns him minor reprieves, but his dreams of freedom remain distant. However, Tatooine is a hub of scum and villainy, and eventually, Anakin crosses paths with a group of smugglers. His skill with machines and pod racing attract their attention, and he's offered a chance to escape. In this timeline, Anakin becomes an outlaw, a rogue mechanic traveling from one dangerous job to the next. The galaxy's power dynamics subtly shift without the rise of Darth Vader. Count Dooku serves as the Empire's main enforcer for a time, though his age and disdain for Sidious's methods create tension. Eventually, Sidious grows tired of Dooku's hesitations and orchestrates his death, replacing him with a new apprentice, perhaps a more conventional Sith, trained from birth in the dark side. This apprentice, while powerful, cannot fully match what Vader would have been, leaving the Emperor to rely on fear tactics and the Death Star as his ultimate weapon of terror. Without Vader's unique influence, certain events take new courses. The Empire struggles more with internal dissent and external rebellion. Leia Organa, still a key figure in the rebellion, rises as a charismatic leader. The rebellion, sensing the Emperor's vulnerabilities, mounts increasingly daring operations. Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, and other key figures lead coordinated strikes, weakening the Empire's control in key sectors. Yet the absence of Luke Skywalker changes everything. With no hero to wield the lightsaber of destiny, the Rebel Alliance's victories, while significant, lack the decisive force to fully topple the Empire. The destruction of the Death Star, if it occurs at all, is less a symbol of hope and more a hard-fought battle among many in a prolonged war. Despite the alternate course of galactic events, the Force itself is not stagnant. On Tatooine, Anakin's journey as a smuggler takes him across the galaxy. Over time, his latent power manifests in strange ways, instinctively piloting ships through impossible maneuvers, repairing complex systems with an almost supernatural understanding, and surviving situations others would deem hopeless. His reputation grows, attracting the attention of both the Empire and the Rebellion. It is during one of his smuggling runs that Anakin encounters a strange hermit on a desolate moon. This hermit, a former Jedi survivor, senses the immense power within Anakin and begins to teach him the ways of the Force. Unlike the structured training of the Jedi Order, this mentorship is raw and improvised. Anakin learns just enough to begin unlocking his potential, though he struggles to reconcile his anger and pain from years of slavery and hardship. As Anakin grows in power, so too does the galaxy's awareness of him. Whispers of a mysterious figure with unmatched piloting skills and uncanny luck reach the ears of both the Rebel Alliance and the Empire. Palpatine, ever watchful, sends his new apprentice to investigate. The two forces collide when Anakin, now fully embracing his independence, refuses to align with either side. His mistrust of institutions, born from a life of exploitation, leads him to forge his own path. The galaxy, still teetering under the Emperor's control, now faces a new variable, a powerful Force user who refuses to be bound by light or dark. Anakin's presence becomes a rallying point for scattered resistance groups, though his methods often clash with the more principled ideals of the Rebel Alliance. His journey, one of self-discovery and vengeance, ultimately brings him to the heart of the conflict. In this alternate reality, the Force seeks balance through less direct means. Anakin Skywalker's story, though different, still carries immense weight. His decisions, shaped by a life of hardship and freedom from the rigid structures of both Jedi and Sith, challenge the galaxy in ways unforeseen. The question remains whether his untamed power will become the hope the galaxy desperately needs, or if his rage will tip the balance further into darkness. As Anakin Skywalker carves his path through the galaxy, his legend grows. He becomes a symbol of defiance, a figure whispered about in cantinas and back alleys. To some, he is a savior, a force of nature striking back against the tyranny of the Empire. To others, he is a dangerous wild card, a rogue with no loyalty to any cause but his own. The galaxy's factions vie for his allegiance, recognizing the potential he holds to shift the balance of power. Yet Anakin remains fiercely independent, driven by his own code and a deep-seated desire to never be controlled again. The Rebel Alliance, struggling to maintain its foothold against the Empire, sends emissaries to seek out Anakin. Among them is Leia Organa, whose leadership has grown increasingly pivotal. She approaches Anakin not as a general, but as someone who understands the weight of expectation and the burden of a greater purpose. Their conversations are tense, filled with mutual respect, but also a fundamental difference in philosophy. Leia speaks of unity, of a cause greater than any one individual. Anakin, hardened by years of isolation and betrayal, counters with his belief that institutions, even well-meaning ones, inevitably corrupt. Despite his reluctance to formally join the rebellion, Anakin's actions indirectly aid their cause. He targets Imperial supply lines, sabotages key installations, and disrupts critical operations. These strikes weaken the Empire's hold, forcing them to divert resources to track him down. Palpatine, recognizing the threat Anakin poses, becomes obsessed with bringing him under Sith control. The Emperor sends his apprentice, a dark enforcer molded in the absence of Vader, to capture or kill the rogue Force user. This apprentice, while powerful, lacks Vader's cunning and raw potential, leading to a series of confrontations that leave the Empire increasingly frustrated. The galaxy teeters on the edge of a broader conflict as Anakin's actions inspire new resistance movements. His exploits encourage others to rise up, creating a fractured but determined opposition to Imperial rule. The rebellion gains strength from these uprisings, though coordination remains a challenge. Anakin, meanwhile, continues to grapple with his burgeoning connection to the Force. His mentor, the reclusive Jedi survivor, teaches him as much as possible, but Anakin's power is both a gift and a curse. The dark side, fueled by his anger and pain, constantly tempts him. In one pivotal encounter, Anakin faces the Sith apprentice sent by Palpatine. The duel is fierce, a clash of raw power and disciplined technique. Anakin's fighting style is unorthodox, a blend of instinct and improvisation that catches his opponent off guard. The Sith apprentice underestimates Anakin's sheer willpower, leading to a brutal defeat. However, instead of delivering a killing blow, Anakin spares the apprentice, sending a message to the Emperor he cannot be controlled or coerced. This act of defiance enrages Palpatine, who sees Anakin not only as a threat but as a potential successor. The Emperor's obsession with power drives him to confront Anakin personally. In a chilling display of the dark side's might, Palpatine orchestrates a trap, luring Anakin into a confrontation on a remote world. The battle that ensues is unlike anything the galaxy has seen. Lightning crackles through the air as Anakin and Palpatine clash, the raw power of the Chosen One meeting the calculated fury of the Sith Master. The duel pushes Anakin to his limits, forcing him to confront the full extent of his power and the choices that lie before him. Palpatine's manipulations are insidious, attempting to sway Anakin with promises of ultimate freedom and the ability to reshape the galaxy. For a moment, the balance teeters, but Anakin's resolve holds firm. Drawing upon his experiences and the lessons imparted by his mentor, he channels the Force in a way that neither Jedi nor Sith fully understand. The battle ends with Palpatine gravely wounded, forced to retreat. The Emperor's defeat at Anakin's hands sends shockwaves through the galaxy. The Empire's grip begins to falter as word spreads of the invincible rogue who bested the Sith Lord. Rebellion factions rally, emboldened by the news. Anakin, however, does not revel in victory. The encounter leaves him scarred, both physically and emotionally. He retreats to reflect on his place in the galaxy, aware that his actions have set events in motion that cannot be undone. In the aftermath, the rebellion gains significant ground, striking key Imperial strongholds. Leia Organa and her allies seize the opportunity to launch a coordinated offensive, weakening the Empire's infrastructure. The absence of Palpatine at the helm creates chaos within the Imperial ranks, leading to power struggles and internal dissent. The rebellion's leadership, recognizing the unique moment in history, reaches out to Anakin once more. This time, their plea is different. They do not ask him to join their ranks, but to lend his strength in one final push against the remnants of the Empire. Anakin, recognizing the importance of this moment, agrees. In the climactic battle that follows, Anakin leads a strike team against the Empire's last stronghold. His presence on the battlefield is transformative, rallying the troops and turning the tide in favor of the rebellion. The battle concludes with the fall of the Empire's leadership and the liberation of countless worlds. The galaxy begins the long process of rebuilding, with the rebellion transitioning into the new republic. Anakin, however, does not remain to witness this new era. He vanishes, choosing a life of solitude. His journey has taught him the dangers of power and the responsibilities it carries. While the galaxy celebrates its hard-won freedom, Anakin's legacy remains a testament to the power of choice and the indomitable spirit of those who refuse to be bound by fate. In this alternate timeline, the galaxy's destiny unfolds along a different path. Without Anakin's early discovery by the Jedi, the struggle against tyranny becomes a more collective effort, with new heroes rising to meet the challenges of their time. Yet through it all, Anakin Skywalker's impact remains profound, a reminder that even in the vastness of the galaxy, the actions of one individual can reshape the course of history.